Welcome to Tino's Time Wrestling. And on this episode, we're going to talk about WWE Extreme Rules. It's time for WWE to go extreme, baby. Not really. They have one match that has a stipulation in it, and it's the Universal Championship match. But there are 6 matches on the card, and the other 5 don't have a stipulation. What happened to the Extreme Rules where every match was supposed to have a stipulation? We'll get into that when we talk about all the matches. Who's going to win the Universal Champion, though? Roman Reigns, the head of the table, or the Demon, Finn Balor? Yes, I said that. It's not just Finn Balor. It's his alter ego, the Demon, the King, the Demon King, baby. Let's see if the Demon can finally dethrone the head of the table. Who's going to walk out as the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion? Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. Can Alexa Bliss defeat Charlotte Flair? For the SmackDown side, is the EST and WWE going to be able to defeat and dethrone the man, Becky Lynch, after Becky Lynch returned at SummerSlam and defeated her in just 26 seconds? Those 2 matches are going to be absolute killers. But before we talk about the matches, let's talk about all the crazy things that have went on in professional wrestling and the WWE in the last month. And the first thing I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about it too much, but Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, he is now known as Bryan Danielson in AEW. They both debuted in AEW at All Out in Chicago. I think it was September 3rd or September 5th. It was one of those 2 dates. But, I just wanted to say congratulations to both of them. I cannot wait to see what they both do. And at that match, the Bryan Danielson, I'll have to get used to saying that, and Kenny Omega had this past Wednesday on Dynamite was actually pretty good. It went into a time limit, and we didn't see who would be the winner. But I feel like that's just because we're going to get it down the road. But I don't want to talk about AEW too much. So hopefully you two do good, and good luck, and hopefully we see you in the future, and maybe one day when Triple H takes over the WWE, you guys would all love to come back, and we could do an AEW versus WWE, because that would be dope. Let's talk about Big E cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Big E, after being a member of the New Day, he went on to win this year's Money in the Bank. And I was very shocked when he did win, because I was like, why was Big E going to win? And I didn't really think that they were going to have him be the champion. But on the June 25th episode of SmackDown, Big E defeated Apollo Crews and qualified for that Money in the Bank match. And he held it until September 13th. On Raw, Big E cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Bobby Lashley to win the WWE champion. But that same night when Raw started, Big E came out and said that he was going to cash in his Money in the Bank. So he gave Bobby Lashley a warning. But Bobby Lashley had a really brutal match, and Big E took advantage of that, and he cashed in his Money in the Bank, and now he is the brand new WWE champion. We were supposed to have a match that was supposed to be Bobby Lashley versus Randy Orton for the WWE champion. But obviously, since Big E is now the WWE champion, we aren't going to see that match. So congratulations, Big E. I can't wait to see what you do with it. You deserve it, my man. Just congratulations from your boy Tino. I just cannot wait to see what you do, and what are you going to stay on SmackDown or Raw? Because, baby, it's time to shake things up a little bit. The WWE Draft is this upcoming Friday, and then the following Monday, October 1st and October 4th. So we'll have to see if the WWE Champion and the Universal Champion switch brands. Maybe Big E will go stay on SmackDown, and he'll be the WWE Champion, and Roman will go to Raw. We'll have to see. But I don't see Roman really leaving SmackDown, because I feel like Fox will get really mad, because as you know, Raw and the WWE aren't doing so good in the ratings. So we'll have to see. But the WWE Draft is coming, and to be honest, that was my favorite time of the year. I love the draft, but we'll have to see how they do it. I hate the way they do the Superstar Shake-Up when they actually just show the guys. I want it to be where they come out and they do their thing, and I just want to see them actually be drafted by a general manager, not Stephanie just coming out and saying their names. That's no fun that way. We'll have to see how WWE does it. But before all of that can happen, let's talk about Extreme Rules. Like I mentioned earlier, there are 6 matches on the card, and only one of them has a stipulation, and it's the Universal Champion. But we ain't going to talk about that match first. So let's talk about the other 5 matches first that don't have a stipulation, and then we'll talk about the one that is actually Extreme. I don't understand why they're calling it Extreme Rules. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. It's going to be a good pay-per-view, but it just because they have that Extreme Rules name on it, it's not going to live up to the hype. But let's talk about the first match that is going to happen. I feel like will open the show. I feel like it's going to be the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It's the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, the Hooligans, and the right hand and the left hand man at the head of the table. And these 4 men are going to absolutely kill it. They are going to throw their bodies. We saw Montez Ford get a push as a singles competitor this past Friday. He went up against Roman Reigns, and he didn't win, but he did really good in his first match as a singles competitor that I've seen in a while. And to be honest, I think that was the first time he did compete as a singles competitor. But on Sunday, in this match at Extreme Rules, I'm going to take the Usos to win this match, only because I've heard that there are rumors that Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are going to break up, and then in the draft, they're going to go their separate ways, which I really don't think is a good idea, because we saw what happened with Otis and Tucker, and the heavy machinery, and what has happened when they break up tag teams in general. So I really hope that does not happen, but that is why I'm taking the Usos to win this match, and I know they're going to put on a really good show. I just don't feel like there's any way the Usos are going to lose, because, they're right next to Roman, and Roman is the head of the table. So they're going to keep feeding off the head of the table, and they're going to keep their SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And that's whatever. But that's okay, and so, still, your SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. And that's fine. Well, but, we'll have to see. The next match on the card, though, I want to talk about is a match that I feel like, and while we go through this, I'm going to give you the match that I feel like should be added, like the stipulation that should be added for each of these matches, because I just feel like, in each rivalry, there's a stipulation that could be added. Vince and everybody is just too lazy. But that's just whatever, Yeah. So, the next match we're going to talk about is Liv Morgan versus Carmelo. Liv Morgan and Carmella have been in a little bit of a rivalry. Carmella has had Zelina Vega by her side. Carmella has had all these different people try to attack Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan has had phenomenal matches with Zelina Vega, with Carmella, with Natalya. She's defeated all of them. And, Liv Morgan has been doing her thing, and I feel like she finally, hopefully, deserves to have a push. She said it on an interview yesterday that she wants to be like Charlotte, Shasa, Becky, Bailey. She wants to be like all those, and I know that she has it in her. So I don't think this match is going to be too long, but I think it should be, and hopefully they get the time, but we all know that, they probably won't. So I give it about 5 to 10 minute match, and hopefully Liv Morgan wins because she deserves it, and I hope that they give her the run that she rightly deserves. So I'm going to take Liv Morgan to win the match. She's probably going to roll her up and, do the 1, 2, 3, and that's fine with me. So hopefully Liv Morgan wins this, and we'll be talking about You Only Live Once is going to be the future SmackDown or Raw Women's Champion. Maybe she'll go to Raw in the draft this upcoming week, and we'll see her go after Charlotte Flair or Alexa Bliss. Liv Morgan versus Alexa Bliss. Sign me up, people. I know I'm not the only one that would be down to see that match. But speaking of the Raw Women's Champion, let's talk about that match now. It's Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte I feel like is only around when she is around for a while with the championship. Alexa said it, Alexa said Charlotte is nothing without the title, and that's absolutely right, people. Charlotte, she's phenomenal. She's done her thing. She's a Hall of Famer down the road. She's been a 20-time, 50-time, 17-time women's champion, and she's phenomenal. But I I don't feel like there's a reason on why Charlotte Flair should continuously be the Raw Women's Champion. But these two are going to put on a complete, show. They do their thing, and they're two of the best women in the women's division right now. So, in the end, I'm going to take my girl, Alexa Bliss, to win this match. And hopefully we see a new Raw Women's Champion, because I'm tired of seeing Charlotte Flair as the champion. And to be honest, Alexa hasn't had a run in a while. And not just saying this because I like Alexa and I've liked her since the beginning. She deserves it, and yeah, she's like the second favorite, but I would rather have Bliss be champion than Flair, because like I said, we've seen the Charlotte Flair champion too many times at this point, and let's see her, I wish they would do singles rivalries like they used to do back in the day with the women. That would be deadly, because they would be able to do so many more things with the women, but that's just my opinion. And if you didn't know, we have new women's champion. It's Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH. They are now Super Brutality. They are now the women's champions. They are not competing on the card. Maybe we'll see them in a backstage segment. But while we're talking about the women, we had to mention the new tag team champions, so nobody forgot that the women's have a champions, or the women's have a tag champions, because sometimes we forget. But speaking of the women, while we talk about the women, let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It's the EST, Bianca Bel-Air versus the man, Becky Lynch. And like we talked about a little bit earlier, Becky Lynch returned at SummerSlam, and she defeated Bianca Belair in 26 seconds. And, I was really looking forward to that match, and I was really hoping to see a better match than we did see at that time and at SummerSlam. But Becky did her thing, and she defeated her in 26 seconds, and it was not the right way to squash Bianca Belair. They should not have done that to her. That was kind of petty, in my opinion. But now Bianca Belair gets her rematch, and these two women are going to kill each other, to be honest. I really wish that they would make this match an Extreme Rules match. I forgot to mention. I just said I was going to mention it. I did not mention it. I think that the Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch match should be an Extreme Rules match. Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair should be a steel cage or some type of like Alexa Playground match. And let's make Liv Morgan versus Carmelo a chairs match or a tables match or something. Yeah, make it a tables match or do something. That would be fun, right? Let's see the women put each other to tables. But back to Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Let's make it, like I said, let's make it an Extreme Rules match, and let's see these two women beat the hell out of each other. And I'm all for it, because that would be awesome just to see them beat the hell out of each other, because Bianca even said it on this past SmackDown that she doesn't want to have a 26-second match. She wants to have a fight with Becky, and she's going to put the man down, and she's taking back her SmackDown Championship. We'll have to see what happens, but I really do hope that does happen, because in the end of this match, I'm going to take Bianca Belair to win, and I really hope they do add a stipulation to this, but we'll have to see. But in the end, let's see the EST get her championship back, and not that I'm hating on Becky Lynch, but she even said it on this past SmackDown that she has literally been champion on SmackDown and Raw since WrestleMania 35, and to be honest, in my opinion, that is ridiculous. So hopefully the EST and WWE takes that SmackDown Women's Champion and she dethrones the man. But enough about these women. Let's talk about the last two matches on the card. And the first one we're going to talk about, it's the triple threat for the United States Championship match. It's Damien Priest versus Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. And this match is going to be awesome. Damien Priest has been champion since he defeated Sheamus a few weeks ago. And Jeff Hardy, he was in the 24/7 title picture, and I cannot believe Vince McMahon had him in the 24/7 title picture. You cannot do that to my man, Jeff Hardy, the Swanton Bomb, the do-everything, gives his life up for WWE. Come on, Vince McMahon. Thank God you put him in the U.S. Championship picture, because that's what he rightly deserves, or he's probably going to go to AEW with Matt Hardy soon. So hopefully he stays here. But anyway, this match is going to be awesome. Sheamus, Priest, and Hardy are going to beat the hell out of each other, and they're going to, hopefully this match will be some type of a ladder match. That would be cool, because as we talked about earlier, all 5 of these matches don't have stipulations and only one does. So hopefully they add a ladder match, because that would be cool. As you know, if you've watched Jeff Hardy too throughout the years and throughout his whole career, that would be awesome to see him do something to Priest or Sheamus off the ladder, and let's just see a moment that we can remember, because we haven't seen a moment. And again, like we talked about throughout this whole entire show, it's not really Extreme Rules. It should just be named something else, because there's no Extreme Rule matches, except now for the triple threat match, I'm just gonna take Damien Priest to win the match and stay the United States champion, no matter if it is a ladder match, no matter if it is just a regular triple threat. I hope Priest stays the champion, because since he's been up at WrestleMania, he had the tag team match with Bad Bunny, and he's been in the United States Championship picture, and he finally got it. So let's have him keep it for a while, and let's see him do his thing as the United States champion. But now, finally, it's time to talk about the main event, and the one match on the card that actually does have a stipulation. It's for the Universal Championship match. It's the head of the table, Roman Reigns, versus the Demon. Yes, I said the Demon, Finn Balor. The Demon has returned. He's come back, and now he wants to take back the Universal Championship that he never lost, that he had to give up after he had the injury, after he defeated Seth Rollins a few years, and I cannot believe I'm saying that all those years ago. It's been so long already that he defeated Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. So the Demon's back, and he wants the title back. And Roman Reigns, the head of the table, ain't gonna give it up. And I really hope we saw a little bit of a preview on this past Friday with the Demon. The lights went out after Roman Reigns defeated Montez Ford, and Balor jumped on the Usos. He jumped on Roman Reigns. He took out the chair. He took out a table. He jumped off of it. He put him through it. He destroyed the Smackdown arena, and that's exactly what they better do on Sunday at Extreme Rules, because in an Extreme Rules match, that's what needs to happen, and that's what we want to see. We want to see them beat the living hell out of each other. But in the end, no matter what happens, I want to take Finn Balor, the Demon King Finn Balor, to win this match, but I just feel like there's no way Roman loses this match. Roman is too hot. He's probably going to be drafted back to SmackDown next week, and it's probably not going to change. And as much as we want to see Finn Balor get that championship back, it's just probably not going to happen. So I'm going to take the head of the table, Roman Reigns, to win this match. But these two are going to put on an absolute show and an absolute clinic to end Extreme Rules. And hopefully all of these matches get stipulations. But as we've talked about, this is the only match that does have one. And I've given you what stipulation I think should be added to each match. And, I just really hope that this pay-per-view lives up to being Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules has always been one of those pay-per-views back in the day that they would, like we talked about, they had stretcher, ladder matches, steel cage, Hell in the Cell. They had all types of different types of matches that they could add easily, that these rivalries have been living up to. So hopefully that they do, but I just really hope Extreme Rules lives up to the hype, people. But I've given you all my predictions. This card, it's going to be awesome. These matches are going to be phenomenal. Hopefully, I just cannot wait. And don't forget to join me on Monday after all the crazy action that happens at Extreme Rules. I'm going to give you my post-show analysis. I'm going to let you know everything that happened. We're going to go over my predictions. As you know, if you've listened, I suck at giving predictions. So I'm probably going to get all of these wrong, but who cares? I'll still do it on Monday, and you'll join me, and we'll have some fun. So until Monday, when we talk about everything that happens at Extreme Rules, and we'll go over everything that happens on Monday Night Raw. I'll give you a little bit of a draft preview since we have the draft coming up this Friday. I hope everybody enjoys Extreme Rules. And until this upcoming Monday, we go over all the action. This is your boy Tino, signing out.